In order to get a better understanding of disability around the world, we dig into the history of disability culture. We start with the colonial era in Great Britain and America.
It is a common knowledge that colonists began to make the move to America as early as the 1620s, seeking freedoms and new beginnings. Everyone was not given these opportunities, however. American colonies would not allow people with disabilities because they believed such individuals would require too much financial support.
Next, we look at disability culture in the 19th century Britain. According to Historic England, the 19th century was the time when buildings in England that were designed for people with disabilities boomed. In other words, society kept those with disabilities hidden from view by placing them in asylums. These facilities in England were overcrowded, undersupplied, and horrific. People with disabilities were treated as less than human, which says a lot about how the world viewed them.
Not only did society attempt to lock away people with disabilities, it attempted to do away with them completely. In an effort to make a perfect world, the idea of eugenics came about. According to Alpha History, eugenics was a belief that the human population could be improved if unhealthy or undesirables were removed.
An example of eugenics in history was seen in the laws, policies, and actions of the Holocaust. Just 6 months after Hitler became chancellor, the law for the prevention of hereditarily diseased offspring was passed in July 1933. In the words of Alpha History, this law required German doctors to register all genetically related illnesses, such as mental illness, schizophrenia, blindness, etc. These people would have their cases reviewed by a hereditary health court to decide if they would be sterilized, so they could not have children with disabilities.
In the first 3 years of this law, 90% of the 225,000 cases reviewed ordered a sterilization.
As history moves along, people with disabilities around the world were given more of an opportunity. According to PWO.org, in 1908, the Australian government introduced the invalid pension. This increased the independence of people with disabilities and also recognized them as members of society.
More currently, the world has become even more accepting of people with disabilities. First, people first language was adopted. This style of language puts the person before the disability. For example, Bob has learning disabilities. Instead of a learning disabled kid named Bob.
People with disabilities are also given more opportunities and access when it comes to education and jobs. Laws such as IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities in Education Act, enforce things such as inclusive classrooms and least restrictive environment that allow students with disabilities to get a fair and equal education.
Throughout history and all around the world, people with disabilities were given more and more access and respect. Although currently there are still some problems, we are reaching our goal of total acceptance of all human diversity.